Happy Veterans Day, Yorkville High School. I'm Colonel Larry Kafish of the United States Marine Corps. Please know it's an honor for me to be able to speak with you today on this hallowed holiday that we call Veterans Day. When I was asked by Mr. Riskius and Mr. Christopherson to speak with you today, I was happy to be able to do so and only wished I could be there in person, but that was not to be. I'm currently deployed in the Middle East and will not be returning home until the spring. I am, however, elated to be able to send you this short message on Veterans Day, sharing with you my thoughts on why veterans should be revered and the best way to thank veterans for their service. The veterans we honor on Veterans Day, the 11th of November, are those individuals who have served for any length of time in any branch of the military: the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Those that have served in a war are war veterans, and those that have experienced combat are combat veterans. They are all, however, veterans, and they all are sacred, for they have volunteered and have sworn an oath of office to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. They have committed to fight for right and freedom anywhere in the world, knowing they would likely go into harm's way and could pay the ultimate sacrifice for God and country. Knowing all this, they still chose to serve, putting their country above themselves, ensuring their fellow citizens are able to enjoy the freedom and peace bestowed upon us by previous generations of veterans and those serving today. When we look back on our history, some of the first veterans were our founding fathers. There were 17 signatories of the Declaration of Independence that fought in the Revolutionary War. Many others were supported the war through other means. General George Washington was the leader of the Continental Army in the Revolutionary War before becoming our nation's first president. It is of no surprise that America is a nation that was founded in a war that gained us our independence and allowed America to become what it is today. It should also be known that for approximately half of America's existence, our country has been at war. Without the courage, the brilliance, and the commitment to freedom by our founding fathers, the country we call home today, the United States of America, would have never come into existence. At the time the Revolutionary War broke out, the British Empire was ruling the 13 small colonies on American soil. The British governing the colonies were overbearing, which were taxing too much, regulating too much, controlling too much, and when they tried to disarm the colonists, taking away their ability to defend themselves, that was the breaking point, and the War of American Independence commenced. It's important to understand that at the time the British Empire was the strongest military in the world, and the founding fathers were leading a military predominantly made up of inexperienced militias which were outmanned and outgunned. However, these amazing patriots were fighting for freedom and a better quality of life for their families and their loved ones. They were fighting for a government that would be made up of the people, by the people, for the people. They were fighting for a new country founded on brilliance and something never done before. They were fighting for a country that believed that all men are created equal and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, all of which can be found in the preamble of the Declaration of Independence. Our founding fathers had a motto during the war. It was very simple: give me liberty or give me death. This is the type of commitment our founding fathers planted in the American spirit. This is the type of commitment our veterans today continue to uphold. This is the type of commitment we revere today, and this is why we admire our veterans and recognize them on this Day of Veterans. Our founding fathers were putting their lives on the line so that follow-on generations and we could experience the experiment that promoted individual liberty and the ability to pursue our interests while acquiring wealth commensurate to our desire, work ethic, our ability to study, and assume risk. As has been highlighted in the news for some time, many veterans are having challenges, and many more are taking their own lives, of which one is far too many. Most believe that this is caused by veterans' time and frequency and number of deployments overseas or in the combat zone. I think it's something more. Veterans are not committing suicide in the combat zone. They're committing suicide when they return home. When veterans are in the combat zone, they have a mission. They belong to a family, their unit. They are engaged and they have responsibility and a feeling of great appreciation and importance. These are all the things each of us yearn for. The challenges come when these veterans return home. At home, they often no longer have a mission. They are removed from their family, the unit of which their lives were dependent upon. Their level of responsibility drops tremendously, and they are often no longer appreciated as they were when they had a mission and were overseas. It is this that crushes the spirit of the veterans, and if not addressed, can lead to negative consequences. The best thing we can do is avoid lip service. Saying we support veterans on Veterans Day is not the same as truly supporting veterans. By supporting veterans, I mean just welcome them back. Bring them back into the family, the community, or the workplace. Treat them as we would anyone else, void of any stigma. Communicate with them and assist as able, putting them back to work with the mission and responsibility. They will thrive and continue to do great things. Like most veterans, I'm thankful for my service, and often my response is always the same. Thank you for your support, for I get to do what I love, for the country I love, for the people I love, which is all anyone can ask for. Unfortunately, this is more rare than common. More importantly, more than thanking a veteran for their service, I encourage every one of you, every American, to take it a step further. Sure, you can thank a veteran by saying thank you for your service, but if you really want to show the veteran that you are thankful, tell them, in addition to my thanks, I'm going to support you and share in your commitment to the oath of office, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And you can do this by first reading the Constitution and the founding documents in order to become familiar with them so that you will be able to better recognize the assaults when they occur. Thomas Jefferson said the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Veterans have committed to eternal vigilance in the fight for freedom. There is no greater show of respect and action more appreciated by veterans than if every American were just a little vigilant and joined them in the fight for freedom. Join them in protecting the Constitution. Join them in protecting the founding documents and holding sacred our founding fathers to which America's birth was dependent upon. It should be known that the further away we drift from the Constitution, the founding documents, and our founding fathers' guidance, the further away we fall from greatness. I encourage you and every American to be bold, stay vigilant, and fight with the veterans for freedom, the founding documents, and the founding fathers. Lastly, when you see the flag that stands for everything the veteran fights for and dies for, liberty, justice, humanity, which also symbolizes our nation's birthright, heritage, and freedom purchased with blood and sorrow, respect it, honor it, and if you have to go to your knees, make sure it's at night just before going to bed to thank God for being born in the greatest country in the world. Happy Veterans Day, Yorkville High School. God bless you all. God bless our veterans, and God bless the United States of America.